Hey everyone, welcome to today's episode. Today we're going to dive into some important updates from Microsoft that will help organizations stay current and benefit from the latest innovations. I think I'll start with something which is really interesting. Again, something which Microsoft concentrated on the security side of things, right? So there was a recent announcement where it says effective July 1st, right? External users won't be able to access files or folders or even sites via the old links which were shared from the users within the organization. And that happens post enabling the Entra B2B integration, right? So what happens is that external users will lose access to content which was shared before this integration enabled. And the important point here is to restore the access. The file or the site has to be reshared, right? And with the external collaborator, and they have to get into the new process to get access to that particular file. And it really needs some user communication, I feel, because most of the users who are share the file, right, I think they might not be aware of what it is. So it is good that the organizations plan for a proper end user education in terms of how this is going to work, because the end user will start seeing an error message on the screen like something went wrong, so they have to reshare the file to get access to it. And just a quick bite on like how this Entra B2B invitation works, right? Like once you share the file, the invitation process is that the external user can use this B2B and then access it with the Microsoft or a non-Microsoft account. And the good thing here, what Microsoft want the end users to do is the authentication, right? So the
Yeah.
external user has to authenticate using a one-time passcode if they don't have a work or a school or a Microsoft account. Uh, and also it respects the guest account policies in your organization, such as if you have a multi-factor authentication, so it would also respect that. So it means that the user has to authenticate using the MFA to get into that particular file or folder. What do you guys feel about this update from Microsoft?
So this is a I mean, I see it in a two different ways. One is user. It is going to impact user. At the same time, it is going to impact administrator side as well, right? So if the user is very clear about what file they have shared with the guest, then it is easy, quite easy. We can just send out a communication, and people can just go back and reshare the file whatever they shared it with the a guest. But in case if they are not very clear with what was shared, and if they are not able to find it out, then it's definitely a overhead for the administrators, because once people start to see that they are not able to access the files, they will be reaching out to I mean, the support teams, and support teams have to work with each individual to get this fixed. But I think within the administrator controls, there are certain ways that we can manage the guest users, right? So just try to understand when was the last time guest any guest has accessed basically checking the sign in logs to understand when was the last time they have just logged into our tenant. With this, at least we will be able to narrow down the count. In case if an organization is having thousands of guest users, they at least they can just narrow it down to some active guest users, and then probably they can work with the end users in case if they really wanted to reshare it with the reshare the content with them. So but I'm not sure why this changes all of the sudden it started. We have to further dig down to understand why Microsoft has made this change. So definitely it enhances the security, but at the same time it is going to impact user and admin as well.
Yeah,
So
I think data cleanup is something really
yeah,
important, right? I
it's
think
very important.
ensuring the right people having access to the data is very key with Copilot coming in as well. And this might not impact people who have a third party management solution for guests, right?
Yeah.
For example, some teams, some organizations might have third party tools where they go ahead and register the guest accounts through that portal. They manage the entire life cycle there, but some of them truly rely on this old way of sharing the files, and that's where you will not have a proper understanding of who the guest accounts are they really active, should they really have access to the file yet, right? So I think that's where this particular change would be a game changer.
Yeah, definitely. So good change to be noticed, and people, I mean, admins have to start reacting to it to avoid any noise. And
Yep.
one more thing which I noticed is probably a very simple change, but again, I'm just little wondering why this needs to be turned off. So the text prediction and Outlook, right? So if you use your Outlook on Windows and you try to compose a new email, so the text prediction will predict what is the sentence that you are trying to write, and it will give you one suggestion, and you can just use the tab button to just complete the sentence. So this is something going to be turned off by default. Even for the people who have enabled it, it is going to be turned off for everyone in the tenant, and they are going to roll it out from July 1st, 2025. But in case if the users really need to re-enable it, they can re-enable it on the Outlook on the web, new Outlook for Windows, and even on the Outlook mobile. But again, here a strong communication need to be sent, right? So it's more of a change and adoption process that need to be followed here, because these are all day-to-day features every end user will be using it. It's not very technical or very drastic change, product change, but it's a very minor one, which end user will definitely get impacted. So a better communication need to be planned, and it need to be sent, is what I mean. Even though it's a small thing, it is going to really touch the end users.
Yeah, I agree. I think, as you said, it touches the end users, right? So I think a
Yeah.
better communication to keep them informed would be great. Yeah. Anything that you found interesting, Priya, that you would like to share with the audience?
Yeah, so the thing of sharing files, right, in Teams, so they are bringing up earlier. We used to use the shared files option in Teams to share, but now you can use the chat conversation file itself. So where that option itself, you can share between the end users, or you can share it in groups or to the channel. So yeah, and they have bought that sharing option where you can set up the icon, and where you can set up the permissions, and you can tag which person you're sharing to, or to the which channel you're sharing to. So this was expected in June, I mean April, but now I think by early June most of them will be able to see it. And good thing is, like, I think it will be much faster, because earlier we used to go to that shared option and then share, and now it is also available with the Mac and Windows desktop, and even on the web. That is what is expected. But from the admin perspective, there is nothing much, so it will be automatically enrolled, and users can see the options, like where they can tag people, and then the share option will be appearing. So that one is quite interesting. So maybe the team sharing will be much faster. So the rollout also, there's no specific action required from the admin side, so it will just roll out. That's one thing which I see. It's quite good.
Yeah. So I think we will be anyways adding all these change numbers in the description when we upload the video. So with along with the link, so people can definitely look into that link to know more details about it. So anything else, Priya, that you noticed?
Yeah, the one more last thing I was looking into, the message trace. So what they're saying is the older version of message trace is getting retired, and the newer version is coming. But it's not that clear, like what is the exact change. But the only thing I noticed that is that the older version is available till August of this month. Even the newer version is getting rolled out. So while accessing via PowerShell, we might need to. We used to use the command, right, get hyphen message trace, or get hyphen message trace detail. So instead of that, we need to use get hyphen message trace v2 and get hyphen message trace detail version 2. So for certain period of time, these two commands will be working in our PowerShell. So the one without the version will give us the previous data, and one with the v2 will give us the new data. So what Microsoft is recommending is that if there is any scripts that are running in your organization which is pointing to any kind of message trace, it's good that you check and modify it. And maximum till August 31st you have the time. So if you want to check on that, any automation running on that, you can, or any scripts, you can just check, make sure the newer versions are getting updated. But apart from that, what are the functionalities that we need to wait and watch, because there is not much detail as of now. But what they're saying is, after September first week, the older one will completely get rid of, and it will go back to the new version. So till then, I think people can switch between both the message trace options. Yeah, that's one update.
Yeah, thank
Yeah,
you.
I think one advantage of that, I mean, few of them are there. I think which I can think of is the 90-day historical data can be real time. You can query that, and also the filtering experience has been improved. I think they have added some additional subject filters and delivery status filters to this new commands, right?
Yeah.
And one other issue is, right, like I think the column with adjustments. It's these are like some smaller things which has happened, but as an admin who's regularly using the portal, right, it would be something beneficial for them.
Yeah, I really love that 90 days option, right? So right now, only for the 10 days, you can really do a real-time search, and anything beyond 10 days is something where you need to run the query and just wait for the extended trace to be completed, and then you have to download it. So in a very critical scenario where you are working on some live incident, and if you wanted to really trace something which has some email which has been sent 15 days back, 20 days back, no need for us to wait for the entire process to be completed, where you instantly you will be able to just find out what has happened to that email, which is really an interesting update from my side.
Yeah, and one pain area for me is always the time zone consistency, right? So
Yeah.
with this new update, I think the message trace defaults back to the exchange account that you're logging in, so it makes easy for you to understand the time zone when you're doing some message trace
Yeah.
Yeah, that's always like we used to do the conversion, but I think
conversions. Yeah.
yeah, that headache is not there now. Yeah, that's right.
Indeed, indeed, yeah. And one like classic example I would say is that every organization face is which channel to go in for the office updates, right? So as we know, we have semi-annual, current, and monthly. So it completely depends on the organization strategy, right? For example, monthly is something where you have every month the feature gets released, and then probably you have some time to test and put that in. And current is something like as soon as Microsoft releases a
Mm.
feature and it automatically updates. And semi-annual is the catching point here, right? So many organizations sometimes stick with semi-annual because of some, I mean, dependencies that they have locally for their organization. So Microsoft have come up with a crucial update here. So the semi-annual enterprise channel, the preview version of that is going to be stopping the support of that. I think it will be by July 8th, 2025. So any organization who are currently running on semi-annual enterprise channel preview version, they have to upgrade the particular package into monthly or current channel to ensure that functionalities are still there. And even with the monthly channel, I think they've come up additional updates, right? Like when you do a rollback, usually it was like a 1 month of a support was
Mm.
provided earlier. Now that has been increased to 2 months. Also, I think it's going to support N-1 and N-2 and the N builds for the better deployment flexibility. So I think there are some improvements in terms of the monthly enterprise channel, but anyone who is still on the semi-annual preview, they have to watch out for this. And also one major update again is the support for the enterprise channel. The semi-annual enterprise channel is also going to end by March 2026. So it's high time that the organizations do some review in terms of what they are packaging on the channel update roadmap, right? And then they have to plan accordingly. They still have another close to, what do you say, like another 9-10 months to go. So I think it's some good time for them to sit back and see what would be their strategy.
Yeah. So that this the one thing what I see from this particular changes, organization who wants to be on the semi-annual channel, right, for because of so and for multiple reasons, maybe application I mean capabilities, or some old macro files will be accessed, and in case if the application is going to a current channel or monthly channel, there are probabilities where this macro files might stop working. So for such reasons, there always organizations most of the time prefer to have it to be part of the semi-annual. But I think this is something Microsoft is pushing it because Copilot is evolving every day, right? And they wanted every organization to be very stay close to the Copilot update, so that people, when they are in the monthly channel, they will get the experience of Copilot in a better way. Probably, I think that might pushed Microsoft to make this change and take a decision of completely rolling back whatever we have it in the semi-annual channels. Yeah. And one last thing which I noticed was the Exchange Online change in the Exchange Online. So they are going to introduce the external recipient rate limit. At this point of time, when someone wants to really send out an email, we can send it to 10,000 users, right? It's a mix of both internal and external. But Microsoft don't want Exchange Online platform to be used as a platform to send too much of external emails. So they just wanted to have some control in place. So within this 10,000 limit, they just segmented into two. The first 8,000 emails is something people can use it for internal, and 2,000 is the new limit that they have set it for external. So within the 10,000 daily limit, only 2,000 can be used for external email sharing, and 8,000 can be used for internal. In case if some organizations are not using that 2,000 external, then they can just utilize the whole 10,000 for internal emails. So one more thing is, this particular change has already been implemented on trial tenants and any tenants that has been created after Jan 2025. But for any existing or for any old tenants, this change will be slowly pushed, and probably I think it's October 2025 is when this will be completely rolled out to the old tenants as well. So this is one thing which I felt like probably every administrator should be knowing, in case if any teams are using authenticated email to send out any external emails, right? Probably anyone is using a cloud SMTP relay, and in case if they are using an authenticated method of having a username and password, and if they are sending out an email, they will be start facing this issue because there is going to be a day limit, and that day limit is for 24 hours. So the next, after once the 24-hour cycle is completed, again they will be getting the additional 2,000 limit added, and they can use it. Yeah.
Yeah, I think couple of things I'm not sure. Maybe one of you can highlight. So, do you think the DL would still work? Like, if I have the recipients added into a distribution list, does it still continue to contribute as one recipient, or what do you guys think?
So I think in case if you have external participants inside the DL, right? So each participant is calculated as a single user, is what I believe. But I think we have to definitely check it. I'm not sure, so I don't want to comment anything on that. Yeah.
Yeah, and
So
I
good.
think any organization who is using a shared account, or like something
Yeah.
which you said, right? They might be triggering emails to their vendors using those accounts, right? Like kind of a reports, for example, some of them share reports to some external party, so they have to watch out for this change.
Yeah. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think we just pretty much discussed about some interesting changes that is going to come, right? So I think most of the changes are very interesting, and I think we have to continue this kind of discussions in the future as well. So anything that we find very interesting that is going to change either a user experience or an admin experience, we need to ensure that we discuss that and share whatever thoughts that we have. Yeah.
Yeah.
Completely
Yeah.
agree. Yeah, great
Thanks, guys.
insights. I
Thank you.
think that's all for today's episode. We hope you find the updates and tips useful. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay tuned for further insights. Thank you.